Hi, my name is Sandra Simon, and today I will be speaking about euthanasia-assisted suicide. First, let me state my understanding of the controversies surrounding the topics of euthanasia. What I would like to present to you today is from my own personal experience in dealing with my father's terminal illness and what the disease reduced into, and also from my research. It was November 13th, 2010, when I arrived at my parents' home in Colorado. My father required around-the-clock care. The cancer had spread throughout his body, and the tumor on his lung was the size of a cantaloupe, requiring 5 liters of oxygen to breathe. He could no longer walk on his own because the cancer was in the vertebrae of his back. He was also now bedridden and required the use of a diaper just to go to the bathroom. If this was your dog, would you allow him to suffer this way? Of course you wouldn't. That would be unethical. But for hundreds of years, we have ended the suffering of animals due to injury and illness by use of euthanasia. Society chooses to implement the death penalty. Why do we consider this acceptable but not euthanasia for human beings? What about all the babies that we terminate every year through legal abortions? In 1973, Roe v. Wade, the U.S. Supreme Court allowed a woman to obtain a legal abortion in the United States. This is from law.cornell.edu. These individuals did not have a choice in how death comes to them. Yes, the inmate did have a choice not to commit the crime, but this is about humans choosing the rights of others, and also ask the question, whose right is it to end life? This is a quote from dictionary.com. Euthanasia, also called mercy killing, the act of putting to death painlessly or allowing to die, as by withholding extreme medical measures, a person or animal suffering from an incurable, especially painful disease or condition. Euthanasia is a doctor-performed procedure to end the suffering of individuals. Please do not confuse what I support with what Dr. Jack Kevorkian was convicted of doing. I do not believe in ending the life of a human being because of suffering from depression or chronic illness. Dr. Kevorkian was arrested, tried, sentenced, and later acquitted of his involvement in the assistance of suicide for those suffering from chronic illness. This is from Ethics of Healthcare. I support those suffering from terminal illness and no hope of cure in the assistance of euthanasia. 1 month before my father passed away, my sister was struck by an SUV driven by a woman under the influence of drugs. Her brain injury was so severe she no longer had cortical brain function. This is upper portion conscious thinking part of your brain. Her brainstem still functioned, allowing her to breathe and to allow her heart to function on its own. This is what is referred to as a persistent vegetative state. No cortical brain activity is possible. This is from Human Development, a Lifespan View. My sister's condition worsened, and we had to remove her from the equipment, the machines, allowing her to live. This is considered a legal euthanasia situation. There are also legal documents that allow a person to give final wishes, a final say in the medical treatments that are given to them if they cannot speak on their own. This is what we call an advance directive, a living will. You have the right to put in a legal document to say whether or not you want medical treatment given to you if you are not able to speak for yourself due to injury or illness. This is from Death and Dying. It was November 17th on a Thursday of 2010 when my father passed away. My youngest sister had made it home from being overseas with her children and her husband just minutes before my father began the final stages of his life. Typically at this point, medications to relieve pain no longer work, and we like to believe the idea that the person in this final stage just graciously travels on and dies peacefully. This normally does not happen and did not happen in my father's case. As he cried in pain for us to help him, my mother was giving him morphine, but his body was shutting down and was no longer helping him. His lungs were filling with fluid, and he was drowning in his own fluids. Each breath got shorter and shorter until there was no more. I support euthanasia for those suffering from terminal illness. Give these people one last choice, one last voice and dignity in deciding how death comes to them. Thank you.
No.